Hello everyone, welcome back to Deep Explain. Today we're diving into one of the biggest and most talked about moves in recent NFL history. Why did Aaron Rodgers leave the Green Bay Packers after nearly 2 decades? It's a story of legacy, ego, business, and change. By the end of this video, you'll understand not just what happened, but why it really happened. Aaron Rodgers came to Green Bay as a promising young quarterback and slowly built himself into one of the greatest players in NFL history. A Super Bowl champion, a 4-time MVP, and the face of the franchise, Rodgers and the Packers seemed inseparable. His connection with the team, the fans, and Lambeau Field was deep and emotional. Yet, after all those years, in 2023, he was gone, traded to the New York Jets. What led to this breakup between a legend and his team? It all started with a shift in tone. After the 2021 and 2022 seasons, Rodgers began expressing frustration. He didn't want to be part of a rebuilding effort. He wanted to win now. But Green Bay was entering a transition phase. Then came the 2020 NFL Draft when the Packers selected Jordan Love, a quarterback, in the first round. To many, it was a sign of planning for the future. But to Rodgers, it felt like a message that the team was already thinking about life after him. That moment changed everything. For Rodgers, it wasn't just about football. It was about respect, trust, and communication. Behind the scenes, the relationship between him and the Packers front office started to cool. There were disagreements about roster moves, coaching choices, and the team's long-term direction. Rodgers wanted a seat at the table. The organization preferred to make decisions quietly. Then came a turning point, his famous "a darkness retreat." Early 2023, Rodgers took time away from the world to reflect on his future. When he came back, he claimed that the Packers had already moved on without even telling him directly. He said he felt unwanted, like the decision to part ways had already been made. That sense of being left out of the loop hurt. But there was another layer: business. Rodgers had signed a massive extension with Green Bay in 2022 worth around $150 million, believing the team was committed to winning with him. Yet soon after, the Packers traded away his favorite receiver Davante Adams to the Raiders. That move shattered his confidence in the organization's direction. He had just committed to them, and now his biggest weapon was gone. Rodgers wanted to keep chasing championships. The Packers were preparing for a future that didn't include him. The gap between those visions became too wide to bridge. For Rodgers, joining another team was not just a new opportunity, it was a statement. He wanted to prove he could still compete at the highest level on his terms. That's where the New York Jets came in. They offered him a fresh start, a familiar coaching staff, young talented players, and a front office ready to give him input. Rodgers saw New York as a place where he could build a final chapter worthy of his legacy. For Green Bay, it was time to pass the torch to Jordan Love and start rebuilding. The trade was a business decision, but it carried a lot of emotion on both sides. When the trade was finalized in April 2023, it didn't shock many insiders. It felt inevitable. After 18 seasons, the Packers' era of Aaron Rodgers was officially over. He left with gratitude and respect for the fans, but with clear disappointment in how things unfolded. He thanked Green Bay for the memories, but it was clear this was no longer home. Some say he left because of ego. Others say it was miscommunication. But if you look closer, it's about timing and alignment. Rodgers wasn't ready to step back. The Packers weren't ready to bet everything on him again. Both sides wanted control of their future, and that's where they split. His exit reminds us that even the strongest partnerships can fade when vision no longer aligns. In sports, as in life, staying somewhere that no longer fuels your purpose can be the hardest choice. Rodgers didn't leave because he stopped caring. He left because staying would mean compromising who he is, a competitor driven to win, not just play out his career. The Packers, too, made a choice rooted in reality. They needed to prepare for tomorrow, and Rodgers was focused on today. Both sides did what they felt they had to do. There was no villain in this story, just two paths that no longer ran parallel. So when you see Aaron Rodgers wearing a Jets jersey, remember, it's not betrayal, it's evolution. It's the natural end of an era that defined a generation of football. Sometimes to keep your fire alive, you have to move on, even from the place that built you. Thanks for watching Deep Explain. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into stories that shape sports, culture, and beyond.